Hello everyone! You've made your way to a box opening of new Capenna set booster box on Poison People MTG channel with me, Elena Jean. Yes, I'm opening this one up in bed, nice and comfy. As usual, I'm having trouble opening the box. Don't mind me, I'll find my way. While I'm struggling, I'll just let you know that I had no expectations for this set. I wasn't too excited about it, but I had a small sealed event with me and like 3 other friends. And the decks we came up with were pretty strong, so I was pleasantly surprised. Especially when I pulled Lord Xander. Everybody really liked that. He won't appear in this video, but in case you don't know Lord Xander, he's a 6/6 for 7, and when he enters the battlefield, target opponent discards half the cards in their hand, rounded down, and when he attacks, defending player mills half their library, rounded down, and finally, when he dies, target opponent sacrifices half the non-land permanents they control, rounded down. I was very sad when my opponents didn't let me keep them on the board. Very sad. So we just saw the box topper you get in all the booster boxes, Gallagreators, and then we saw a description of the five families. There's going to be a few key moments that I like in this video, but I'm probably just going to talk about the sealed event that I had with my friends a lot. I knew very little about the 5 families, but I really didn't think that I would be a Riveteer. That's the family that has a lot of hasty, aggro-y type stuff. I thought I might be more Obscura, but I didn't end up going with that. A couple of my friends did, and their decks were really powerful. I did have some good removal though, and I chopped them down to size a little bit. Hostile Takeover was our rare there. What Hostile Takeover does is, up to 1 target creature has base power and toughness 1/1 till end of turn. Up to 1 other target creature has base power and toughness 4/4 until end of turn. Then Hostile Takeover deals 3 damage to each creature. It's a 5 casting sorcery. It could be a potential board wipe. I wonder how it will do in standard. Watch me open this pack like a chocolate bar. Yummy. Anywho, there's a treasure token. I love tokens. That one's pretty. Speaking of treasures, holy mackerel, this set has got a lot of ways to make treasures. I really like it because mana fixing is always a problem, especially with tricolor cards, and treasures like eliminate that. Speaking of treasures, has anyone looked up how much Revel and Riches is recently? Check out TCG Player. Market price is $32.70. As Joey Moss would say, hot dogs. If you guys don't watch Joey Moss, you have to look him up. He's on YouTube as Bad Boy Gaming. He is absolutely adorable. He's very animated and he is so passionate about the game. He's been my favorite MTG YouTuber recently. Plus, he does some really crazy box openings. He just opened Urza Saga not too long ago. I think that's like a $4,000 box. He's also really proud that he opened all 3 of the Neon Inks on camera from Neon Dynasty. The red one, the blue one, and what is it? Oh, the green one. The yellow one you could only get at a special LGS. I forget what exactly they had to do in order to get one, but it's really hard to have gotten a yellow one. The rare in the last pack was Jaxis the Troublemaker. You could pay a red, tap him, and discard a card to create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery. Jaxis also has Blitz him or herself, I can't tell. They are a 2/3 human warrior for 3 colorless and 1 red. I'm over here talking over the good cards. Ginny Faye just passed. Jetmer's second. She's a 3/3 for 3 mana. 2 of them being hybrid. If you would create 1 or more tokens, you may instead create that many 2/2 green cat creature tokens with haste, or that many 3/1 green dog creature tokens with vigilance. That's pretty bonkers. Check out this little fishy token. Can't be blocked. A little 1/1. I really like this island I'm about to show you. The art card is signed and it looks super cool. Oh, shiny, shiny. Oh, shiny, shiny. I'm very sad that they didn't make every single land you got in the set a full art. I don't like when they do that. I like to be able to have a lot of the full arts. You hear me, wizards? Give me more full art basic land cards. More, I tells ya. Okay, the magpie's coming up. This card, it has the weirdest text box I've ever seen. Go ahead and pause it and read it. She says, when Lagrella the magpie enters the battlefield, exile any number of other target creatures controlled by different players until Lagrella leaves the battlefield. Like, what? Any number of other target creatures controlled by different players? That makes you feel like you can exile everybody else's creatures. But that's not what the official ruling is. I'm just going on record by saying the wording on this card is super difficult. The rare that just passed down was called Shakedown Heavy. It's a 3 casting cost, 6/4 menace. He says whenever Shakedown Heavy attacks, defending player may have you draw a card. If they do, untap Shakedown Heavy and remove it from combat. This guy kind of reminds me of a desecration demon type deal. Like, if they give you something, then you don't get hit by the big giant creature. Here's Ledger Shredder. I didn't do much conniving, so I don't know how much interest I have in that. There's a Secret Lair card. Athlim's Guardian Outcast. His ability's pretty cool. You can pay 2 colorless and tap him, and choose target creature card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Return it to the battlefield tapped. I really like how it has a Friends Forever ability. It says you can have 2 commanders that both have Friends Forever. The art on that is sick. Looks really nice. I must say I'm a big fan of this 1920s feel. The art is really, really impressive. I was really upset that I didn't get any gilded foils. I didn't get not one in my box. You can't even get a foil etched gilded card in a set booster. You could only get those in collector boosters. Let's not pout too much. Here's an endless detour. What it does is the owner of target spell, non-land permanent, or card in the graveyard puts it on the top or bottom of their library. So, bye-bye. That reminds me of Unravel the Ether. That is just a straight up hurtful card. Shuffles your target artifact or enchantment into your library. Hard to find it again. Wah, 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 wah. I'm not sure what she's doing in this art card, but I feel like if she'd say something, she'd be like, keep your eyes off me, Shane. Yeah, Shane. Please excuse my blurriness. It seems I didn't know my camera was out of focus. I'll fix it here in a second. First attempt. No go. Me trying to mess around with the angle to get it to focus. Not working. Any second now. And here we go. Sanguine Spy. Oh, the bulkage. Good thing we also got a Tenacious Underdog in this pack. More Secret Lair cards. This is the first time I'm seeing Hargild, I think her name is. Kindly Rune Chanter. She's a 2/3 for 4 mana, and you can tap her for 2 colorless. And you can only spend that mana to cast artifact spells or activate ability of artifacts. There's more cards that do that for less mana. So I don't know how good this card is. I know the Vulcans are really good for doing that. This card right here reminds me of Eartha Kitt. If you don't know who she is, I recommend looking her up. She's a very cultured lady. Well, she used to be. She's passed away. Coming up in this pack, there's going to be a rare called Toulouse Clever Conductor. And I looked up the price, and I think it is severely underpriced, considering all the conniving you do in this set. Look at it. When she enters the battlefield, she connives. Whenever you discard one or more cards, exile them from your graveyard. And then when she dies, you get to put all the exiled cards into their owner's hands. Like, what? I got me a foil triumph. No Witch of the Moors. Why did I just bring the cards towards me like that? It looked funny, didn't it? I'm going to take this time to let you guys know that about 14 minutes in, my camera decided to stop working, and I didn't realize it till I had opened maybe 2 more packs. So this video is going to be a little incomplete, and it's been a little messy, but we don't mind, right? I know that's right. Here comes Assigned Elspeth. It is very nice, very nice. I'm very happy with this art card. How do you guys feel about art cards? I feel like I gotta have every single one. Although my Neon Dynasty is still incomplete. I have to figure out how to find those without paying for them. I'm thinking about taking all my leftover art cards to the card shop and seeing if they can't trade me for what I need. Threefold Signal. I can't wait to figure out how to exploit that. And here's a Shadow of Mortality. You could potentially have a 7/7 for 2 black mana. Ooh. There's that bomb art again for a little chat. I really wish they would have put some flavor text on that card so they can kind of give us some insight as to what they're talking about. It looked like one of the characters was Lord Xander's, but I'm not sure who the other character was whispering to him. I need to bring in my play mats from my she shed where we play Magic every week so you guys could have something more interesting to look at. Our gray comforter is not very exciting. I do have a little bit of cuts on my fingers, although those get boring after a while. We're getting pretty close to the middle of the video. Thank you guys for sticking around this long and listening to me babble. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and all that good stuff. Share my videos too on your Facebook or your Instagram, anywhere's, your Twitter maybe, just to get me some more subscribers. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much in advance. Here we got Mari the Killing Quill. This is the second time I've seen something with hit counters on it, like a Trotta. Ooh, the Angel of Suffering. I was thinking he'd be good in a Wheel of Sun and Moon deck, so you just can't be milled. Wheel of Sun and Moon says, enchant player for 2 mana. It can be either green or white. They're hybrid mana symbols. And it says, if a card would be put into enchanted player's graveyard from anywhere, instead that card is revealed and put on the bottom of that player's library. So that's a pretty awesome combo. Wheel of Sun and Moon and Angel of Suffering. Ooh, I really like that art card and that island. Super beautiful. So we're coming up to the part where my camera decides to cut out. And the editing is very bad. We're just going to ignore it when it happens. And forget that it ever went there. Anyway, back on track. Some pretty swamps to look at. Oh, that's Guy Crier. That guy was bad in our sealed event. He got huge and people were smacking each other with lifelink flyers. Whew. Here comes that card with the pretty art on it. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain a life. That's the new Underworld Dreams. And here's another Triome. And another foil, terribly worded card. Hey, ho, let's go. It's blurry. Sorry, again. I don't know if it's because I'm getting tired, but in this next booster pack, this art in this land just blew me away. Just look at how breathtakingly beautiful they are. I can't get over it. I'm hypnotized by the shiny. Coming up, we're going to see the Venom Connoisseur. I like her because she reminds me of poison type things, but she's not poison. I'm really sad about that. But she gives your whole team Death Touch at some point. Oh, it's when her ability triggers for the second time. So you gotta have her out and then 2 other creatures have to come in. Then your whole team gets Death Touch. That's pretty cool. That was a pretty ceremonial Groundbreaker. Nice and foily. You can equip to a citizen for only 1 mana. It costed a green and a white and a colorless. It gives a creature +2/+1 and trample. Not bad. And here's more kick-ass art. It's so kick-ass I can't even figure out if it's right side up or upside down. Let's keep turning it around until we figure it out. Or we can just give up and move on to this pretty swamp, which is what I did. Then I'm saying to myself, they reprinted Disdainful Stroke again? Wow. Oh, they also reprinted Murder. I don't know how I feel about that. Just certain staples being printed a million times. I really like the name of that card, Professional Facebreaker. This structural assault is going to do massive damage in my circle of friends. They love their artifacts. And holy crap, a Blood Moon! I have a Blood Moon! That's what I'm talking about. I had to get a little excited about that one. I've never owned one before. This is my very first one. Yay me! All the Urborg's, Tomb of Yawgmoths, all the dual lands, everything is going to be messed up by that card. I can't wait to throw it in the deck. Ooh, nifty dragon. I have to see what his name is. Zatora. I don't think I got that card. Speaking of non-basic lands, look at 3 in a row. That's pretty cool. Our rare coming up is called Obscura Ascendancy. It's a 3 casting cost enchantment that says whenever you cast a spell, if its mana value is equal to 1 plus the number of soul counters on Obscura Ascendancy, put a soul counter on Obscura Ascendancy. Then create a 2/2 white spirit creature token with flying. As long as there are 5 or more soul counters on Obscura Ascendancy, spirits you control get +3/+3. Hold on to your tidy whities because one of the best cards that I opened up, well, not really the best one, but one of the cards that I'm most excited about is coming up. It's coming in like a tiger. And here it is, the moment you've all been waiting for. The rare of the pack. And it is... It is... Getaway Car. This is not the pack I thought it was. Hey, look, it's Elmar. Nobody cares. I think one of the packs I opened when the camera cut out had the Urbrask in it. I wish I would have got that on camera, but we get what we get. I'm really excited to have one. I don't have the old version of it from New Phyrexia, and that really makes me sad. There's a secret layer drop that reprinted him with Phyrexian font on it, and I might get that. I might trade for that because it looks pretty sweet. Good old Herbarask the Hidden. The rare in this pack is Maestro's Diabolist. It's a 1/4 Death Touch Haste for 3. Whenever it attacks, if you don't control a devil token, create a tapped devil token that when it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. We have another Hostile Takeover and Gisa and Growlf. These two are pretty gross. I need to make a blue-black zombie deck. I only have one zombie deck and it is mono black. I don't know if I can stray from that. I think a zombie deck needs to be mono black. I remember getting so excited when I found my Gem Palm Polluters at a card store in the common boxes for 5 cents each when they were worth like $1. And now they reprinted them on the list and now they're only 20 cents. I mean, it's still got a deal, but it's not as good anymore. How do you guys feel about the list? What do you guys think of it having commons and uncommons on it? I say, if you're going to print the list, it needs to be only rares and mythics. Oh wow, this is a pretty land. Wowie, wow, wow, wow. And we got some rabble rousing. I think I appreciate the hideaway enchantments in this set. I know I really liked the red one. Because it let me play my Xander in the sealed event that we had. It's called Widespread Thieving. And it costs 2 colorless and a red, and you hide away 5. And it says whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a treasure token. That on its own is perfect. But then you may pay Wooburg, and if you do, you may play the exile card without paying its mana cost. So that was pretty dope. There goes Vivian. I hoped that I would have got her card, but I didn't get no Vivian Planeswalkers this time around. Wait till we get to the end of this video. You'll see what I got that made it all worthwhile. The rare in this pack is what one of the guys had in the sealed event. It's called Broker's Ascendancy. And it made his creatures get gigantic. He at one point hit me with an 11-10 or 11-13, something like that. I was like, wow, I had to use both my charms on him to chop down his army a little bit. Yeah, the Riveteer's Charm says choose one. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they control with the highest mana value among creatures and planeswalker they control. So I just kept picking off his big nasty creatures till he was easy to kill off. He scared everybody. I didn't win the sealed event, by the way. I was actually the second one out. Hey, we got a Topiary Stomper. He can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands, but he only costs 3. Not bad, right? The Suspicious Bookcase got a lot of attention too. We all really liked talking about how suspicious it was. I think it's like a 0/4 defender for like 2, and then you can pay 3 and tap it to make target creature unblockable. It's very efficient, good value. Birdman. Pretty plains. It's getting towards the end of the video and I'm slowing down on the commons. See, this is what happens when I open my boxes late at night. There's my buddy, Riveteer's Charm. Whoop whoop. Mr. Orfeo's nasty too. Obscura Interceptor. Ooh, it's a Syphilid. The Haven Glow Laboratory is interesting. You can keep flipping it back and forth. I didn't show the other side here, but it says, when this land transforms into Haven Glow Mystery, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When the creature put onto the battlefield with Haven Glow Mystery leaves the battlefield, transform Haven Glow Mystery. You can tap it, pay a life, and add 1 black mana. Oh, can we talk about the card called the Stimulus Package? So it is a gruel colored enchantment, 2 colorless, a red and a green. It says when it enters the battlefield, create 2 treasure tokens. And you can sacrifice a treasure to create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. So my buddy has a witty roast master out, and he's making treasures left and right and sacking them and making citizens and The Witty Roast Master is out, and it says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. He did like 8 damage to me early on in the game with that card. And that's what led to my demise. I chose to kill one of my other buddies' bigger creatures instead of killing this little tiny creature that had done so much damage to me. I kept thinking to myself, there's going to be something bigger that might end me. And this little guy pretty much did most of the damage. So as you can see, that art card perturbed me. And it's not because I couldn't figure out which direction I was supposed to be looking at it. But the flames kind of looked a little phallic to me. What do you think? Tivit's really interesting. Tivit, Seller of Secrets. He is a 6/6 flying ward 3. He's got Council's Dilemma. Whenever Tivit enters the battlefield or deals combat damage to a player, starting with you, each player votes for evidence or bribery. For each evidence vote, investigate. For each bribery vote, create a treasure token. And it says while voting, you may vote an additional time. It says the votes can be for different choices or for the same choice. There's a few decks that I have some voting in, and I don't think they're tricolored, but it's still an interesting ability. There was also Agnes in that pack, and he's a 3/3 haste. Whenever a creature you control with haste attacks, I create a tap treasure token. He was really useful in my deck. The only drawback is you create a tap treasure token, you can't use it immediately. And we had a little Giada action there for angels. She says, each other angel you control enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. For each angel you already control, you can tap her and add a white, and you can spend that mana only to cast an angel spell. She's a 2/2 for 2 mana. She also has flying and vigilance. So this is a pretty badass card. The rare in this pack will be Fleetfoot Dancer. He's a 4/4 trample lifelink haste for 4 mana. It's pretty nice. He's an elf druid. And here comes the last pack. I am so stoked for this. I was totally not expecting it. It's probably the most expensive card that I pulled. Here I want to say thank you guys for watching, especially if you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for hanging out with me. You are a trooper, and I really appreciate you taking your time and using it to listen to my video. That's really cool of you. Look at that. There's my bootlegger stash. Pretty crazy. Well, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon.